Today we're going to talk about the classification of crops. And this is very important to understand kasi unang-una sa lahat, if we do not classify crops, then it is very, very hard for us to study crops. Okay? To study and analyze yung kanilang importance, paano sila pinapalaki, ano yung mga genes, genetic modifications na importante sa tao, etc., etc. So imagine na lang a library, for example, kung saan sobrang gulo, tapos may gusto kang hanapin na libro doon. Mahanap mo kaya yun? It would be very difficult. Yes, pero it would be very difficult. But we classify crops for particularly order and organization. Para kapag may halaman tayo na gusto nating pag-aralan, alam natin kung paano yun pag-aaralan. Kasi it is basically classified and it is orderly. Another one is for naming. Ang names kasi ng mga crops natin ay magkakaiba yan sa bawat lugar. Dito pala sa Pilipinas, iba-iba na yung tawag natin for a particular vegetable or a particular fruit. Paano na lang kaya if we're talking globally? So in order to standardize, nagkaroon tayo ng scientific names. Let's say, form of logical naming, kung saan kahit saang lugar ka man pumunta, pare-parehas yung pangalan na yan. So what are the bases for classification? Ang basis for classification is depende yan kung saan anggulo mo tinitignan. For example, si Aristotle, classify niya ang mga halaman based on structure and size. Si Carolus Linnaeus naman, who actually provided to us the taxonomic naming of the taxonomic name or taxonomic naming classification, he classified plants based on structures only. Ngayon, meron na tayong modern way of classifying plants, which is, we call it as phylogeny, which is based on phylogeny. And ano ang phylogeny? It is basically studying yung evolutionary characteristic. Okay? Evolutionary characteristic ng isang organismo or in our case, ng isang halaman. So tinitingnan natin paano nag-evolve ang isang halaman. Ano yung kanyang family tree. Okay? And based on this phylogeny, we have developed actually the botanical system of classification. And this system of classification utilizes 7 categories. Ito yon. From the broadest, ito yung pinakamaluwang na classification, broadest to the most specific, pababa. So from kingdom, division, class, order, family, genus, and species. And sometimes, kung gusto pa nating maging mas specific, dinadagdag pa natin yung classification ng variety or cultivar. Okay, so magbigay tayo ng example. For example, yung ating pipino. Yung ating pipino belongs to kingdom Plantae, which is plant kingdom. Ano ang kanyang division? Division pala if we're talking about plants and fungi. Just so you know, side note, plants and fungi. Phylum, if we're talking about animals. Okay? O, ano ang division ni pipino? Magnoliophyta. Okay. Magnoliophyta, which means angiosperm or all flowering plants. Class, Magnoliopsida, which means dicotyledons. These are plants with 2 seeds. Order, Cucurbitales. Cucurbitales includes plants like gourds, melons, and squashes. Family, Cucurbitaceae, okay, commonly known as the gourd or squash family. It includes cucumbers, melons, squashes, and pumpkins. Ano yung genus niya? Cucumis. Includes cucumbers and melons. So, kung mapapansin natin, pa-specific siya ng pa-specific. Tama? Anong species? Sativus. Okay? Common to cucumber. So, itong dalawang to, genus and species, ito yung nagiging basis ng ating scientific name. So, if we're going to observe From a broad classification, nagiging specific siya as we go down the line. So kapag meron pa tayong idinagdag dyan na variety or cultivar, di mas specific na naman yun doon sa particular halaman na yun. So bigyan ko kayo ng example naman sa rice. Okay? Ang pinaka-broad na classification niya, rice belongs to kingdom Plantae. Division, Magnoliophyta. So it's a flowering as well. Tama ba? Oo, tama. Flowering as well. Liliopsida. Ang class niya, order, Cyperales, family, Graminae, genus and species Oryza sativa. Yan na yung kanyang scientific name. Pero naglagay tayo ng mas specific pa, which is variety mestizo. So that is one way of classifying crops, and the scientific way of classifying crops. So meron tayong order na meron tayong hierarchy na sinusundan from broadest going to the most specific. So mas madali nga naman makita kung ano yung halaman na magkaka-relate para nang sa ganun kapag gusto nating pag-aralan yung, let's say, yung genes nila in order to improve our crops, then we can do it because of this kind of classification. Also, there are other ways to classify crops. So isa dyan yung ating tinatawag na agronomic classification, which basically, we classify crops based on their agronomic uses. So una, cereals. Cereals, they are grasses cultivated for their grains. Example is yung wheat, rice, and corn. Other agronomic classification, yung legumes naman natin. Alam natin yan. These are plants with seed pods that split along both sides. So example, Baguio beans, sweet peas, black beans, French beans, and other beans that you know of. Root crops. Ito naman yung they are grown primarily for their edible roots or modified stems. Actually, dalawa yan. Dalawa yung term dyan, pero pinagsama ko na lang din. Meron tayong root crops and meron tayong tubers. Kapag sinabi mong root crops, primarily, technically speaking, ito ay roots talaga. So they are enlarged taproot, like your carrots. They are enlarged taproots na lumaki, nag-store ng food, and then pwedeng kainin ng tao. Pwede natin kainin. Ang tubers naman, they are not necessarily roots. They are enlarged, modified stems. Katulad ng ating patatas. So yan yung mga examples ng ating root crops. Patatas, radish, carrots, sweet potato, and others. What else? Fiber crops. Ang fiber crops naman, they are primarily used for textiles and other materials. Dito sa Pilipinas, uso ito, abaka. Primarily sa Catanduanes, nung nag-lecture ako nun, isa daw to sa mga major products nila. Cotton, di ba? They are used for textile production. Yung coconut, how do you say this? Coconut kwa. Kwa. Parang mas maganda sabihin. Coconut kwa or coconut coir. Yun yung husk ng coconut. Di ba? Mapapansin mo yung husk ng coconut parang may mga hibla-hibla yan. Yan, yun. So ginagamit na siya ngayon for textile purposes. Industrial crops. Yan naman yung ginagamit na crops na ginagamit for industrial processes. For example, yung rubber. Okay, yung rubber, hina-harvest natin yung sap ng rubber tree, yun ay nagiging rubber-like, cup-like structure, tapos yun ay pinaprocess para maging gulong. O yung tabako, pinaprocess para maging sigarilyo, para maging cigar. Sugarcane, pinaprocess yan para maging sugar. So, stuff like that. So, yan ay industrial crops. Forage and pasture crops naman, syempre, yan yung mga plants na ginagamit natin para ipakain sa hayop. The word forage, okay, they are used primarily to feed animals. Either pinapag-graze natin or pinupunta natin yung hayop na yun dun sa lupain na yun para kumain ng mga halaman na yun, or kinukuha natin yung halaman na yun and then ipinupunta sa hayop. So some examples, napier grass, okay, ipil-ipil, madre de agua. Ito, madre de agua, very nutritious food daw to, lalong-lalo na kapag nagpapalaki tayo ng mga native swines. Ano pang other agronomic classification? Oil crops. They are crops naman grown for their oil. Anong examples common dito sa Pilipinas? Of course, yung coconut oil natin, di ba? Sunflower oil, and for some instances, corn oil. Horticultural classification naman. So basically, we classify crops based on their horticultural uses naman. Ano ba kasi ang pagkakaiba ng agronomic and horticulture? Ganito ko lang siya isipin. Kapag sinabi mong agronomic, they are field crops. So pangmalawakan itong mga crops na to. Malalaking lupain ang kailangan para mapalago yung mga crops na to. Kapag naman horticultural yung crop, yan ay garden crop. So kahit na maliit lang na lupa, pwedeng lumaki yung mga halaman na to. So ganun ko siya isipin, ganun ko siya i-differentiate. So based on horticultural classification, unang-una, vegetables. Vegetables, yung mga leafy, color crucifers natin, like yung cabbage, broccoli, yung mga ganyan. So these are all classified under vegetables. Example, kangkong, malunggay, pechay, solanaceous crops, legumes, cucurbits, yung pipino. Yan, these are vegetables. Fruit trees, lalo na yung mga maliliit. Okay? Like yung papaya, kalamansi, rambutan, etc. Kahit may maliit ka lang na lupain dyan, isama mo na siguro dyan ang saging. Kahit may maliit ka lang na lupain dyan, pwede mo yung itanim. So they are classified as small fruits. I think this should be small fruits. Plantation crops, this includes your oil, fiber, beverage, spices, condiments, essences, latex and resin, medicinal, and pesticidal. For example, yung ating ginger, luya, turmeric, lagundi. Ano pa ba? Ano pa bang mga herbs natin? Basil, mint. Diba? So those kind of stuff. Other classifications, horticulturally speaking, you have our ornamentals. Mga cut flowers natin. Foliage, landscapes, turf crops. Diba? Like in terms of cut flowers, examples, roses, anthurium, mga chrysanthemum. Napakahalaga niyang mga yan sa ating horticultural industry. Special purpose classifications. Ito naman yung classifying crops based on the purpose that they are doing. Katulad ng green manure legumes. Kapag sinabi mong green manure legumes, any legume that is plowed to your soil to improve soil fertility. So, gumamit ka ng Baguio beans, iplinaw mo yan sa lupa mo, isinama mo yan sa pagkukultivate ng lupa mo, then yung Baguio beans na yun ay nagiging green manure legume because of its purpose. Gumamit ka ng sweet peas, no? Yung sweet peas mo, iplinaw mo siya sa lupa mo para i-improve yung nitrogen ng lupa mo, then that is, ang purpose niya is a green manure legume. Silage naman, ito yung mga crops that they are grown, they are cut, and then they are preserved in succulent condition para ipakain sa hayop. Yan yung silage. They are grown, so pinalaki, kinat, so hinarvest, and then preserve para ipakain sa hayop. Ang difference ng silage sa next slide, soilage is, ang soilage, pinalaki mo, kinat mo, and ipinakain mo freshly sa iyong hayop. Okay? Ang soilage, pinakain mo na fresh sa animal mo. Ang silage, preserve mo muna. Nilagay mo siya sa mga silos or sa mga containers bago mo ipakain sa hayop. Catch crop. Ito yung mga crops na ang purpose nila is Kapag merong interval doon sa planting season mo na hindi mo magagamit yung lupa, pwede mong tamnan ng catch crop or emergency crop. Para may extra income pa rin si farmer. Kasi di ba, mostly yung mga cropping season natin, may bakante yan sa gitna. Siguro 1 month or 2 months na bakante yung lupa. So para hindi totally bakante yung lupa, pwedeng itanim yung mga catch crop na to or emergency crop para kumita pa rin si farmer. Yun yung purpose niya. Katulad ng mani. Yan. Cover crops, ang pinaka-purpose ng crop na to is protektahan yung lupa against any forms of erosion or leaching ng minerals. So for example, yung dahon ng kamote can serve as a cover crop. Ito, mani-mani for avocado plantations. They can also serve as cover crops. Ay, hindi to mani-mani picture lang to. Companion crops naman, ang pinaka-purpose niya is samahan yung main crop. Okay? So ang purpose niyan is either for some synergy sa lupa ng mga nutrients, pwedeng 'yon. Pwedeng for crop protection purposes. Actually, meron ng trap crops later on. Pero isa rin to. And pangalawa, para ma-utilize mo lang yung lupa. And mas maraming maiproduce si farmer, mas malaki ang kanyang kita. Anong mga examples ng companion crops? Kapag itinanim mo yung mung beans, peanut, squash, okra doon sa main crop mo, nagiging companion crop yun. Klaro? Klaro. Okay. Trap crops naman, they are grown to attract the pest away from the main crop. Usong-uso yan when we are practicing organic farming. Okay? Anong mga examples ng trap crops? Sunflower and marigold. So anything that would attract the insects away from your main crop, that is a trap crop. Okay? Ang kailangan nyo lang isipin dito, guys, is ang special purpose classification, yan yung classification ng mga halaman base doon sa gamit nila at that specific point. Okay? So wala tayong specific na trap crop or specific na green manure crop, not unless ginamit siya for that purpose. Klaro? So, for example, itong, let's see, yung mani, pwede siyang catch crop. Kung ginamit siya to fill in between the cropping season, between the growing season ni farmer, between 2 growing seasons ni farmer within a year. So, kumari may bakanting 1 month, nagtanim ka ng mani, naging catch crop siya. Pero kung itong same na mani na to, ikinultivate mo sa lupa, edi nagiging, nagiging green manure legume naman na siya. Okay? So, klaro. So, ang classification nito is according sa gamit. So, pay attention sa exam kapag tinatanong kayo ng classification kasi baka special purpose yung tinatanong. Saan ba ginamit yung halaman? So, yun yung isipin natin in order for us to classify it correctly. Saan ba ginamit yung halaman? Okay, other methods of classification, probably based on growth habit. Okay? Whether that be a shrub, tree, or vines, di ba? So that's another way of classifying plants. So kung vine, yan yung mga they trail or climbed on stems. So those are vines. Like for example, yung ating grapes, cucumbers, sayote, yan, mga example ng vines. Kapag naman herbs, these are non-woody plants. Okay, na mabilis lang mamatay. So they have a relatively short lifespan. So pwedeng examples are basil, mint, and lettuce. Kapag shrubs, woody yan, pero maliliit lang, and mostly merong silang mga multiple stems that are arising from the base. So example natin, golden bush, diba? Roses, gumamela, blueberries, or cherry. Cherry is a tree. Sorry. Yan. Trees naman, tall, woody plants with a single main stem or trunk. Dito sa Pilipinas, coconut, mangga. Yan, mga example ng trees. Kapag naman based on habitat, we can say that it's terrestrial kapag itinanim siya nabubuhay siya sa lupa. Simple as that. Aquatic, kapag sa tubig, katulad ng kangkong and watercress. Epiphytes naman, yan yung mga halaman na nabubuhay sa isa pang halaman. Pero they are not parasitic. Remember, hindi sila parasitic. Mostly epiphytes, they lived plants that grows on other plants. Usually, trees yan, pero hindi sila parasitic. So, kinukuha lang nila yung moisture and nutrients from the air, sometimes from the rain, and some debris na accumulate around doon sa environment kung saan sila lumaki. Examples, orchids, some ferns, or yung mga bromeliads natin. Okay? Other way to classifying it, based on lifespan. Annual means, kapag sinabi mong annual yung lifespan ng halaman, itong halaman na to, we can complete yung kanyang life cycle on one growing season. What does it mean? They can germinate, flower, they can set seeds, and then they can die all in 1 year. Okay? All in 1 year. Yan yung annual natin. So, hindi basically 1 year, hindi kailangan 1 year na buo na makumpleto niya to. Basta within 1 year, nag-germinate siya, nag-flower siya, nag-produce ng seeds, and then namatay, annual yung crop na yan. Kapag naman perennial, of course, they can do it in more than 1 year. They can live in biennial kapag 2 years, kapag perennial, they can live for more than 2 years. Okay? And they can go through multiple cycles nito. Such as yung mga fruit trees natin, like coffee, for example. Based on the mode of reproduction, either sexual or asexual. Kapag sinabi mong sexual, ang reproduction, they involve the combination of 2 parent plants na nagpuproduce ng another sibling na may genetically diverse DNA. Yan. So, 2 parent plants. This is sexual nga. So, meron kang lalaki at saka babae. So, anong mga examples nito? Yung ating kalabasa. Ba? Kalabasa. Yung ating papaya. Ba? Kailangan mo ng babae at lalaki na magpo-pollinate into each other para makapag-produce ng kanilang fruits. Or makapag-produce ng fruits na may panibagong, may combination ng DNA from both parents. Kapag naman asexual, and one way of thinking about asexual para sa akin is cloning lang. So galing lang siya sa isang parent material, so ang sexual galing sa dalawang parent material, ang asexual galing sa isang parent material, and basically clone lang niya yung sarili niya. So, just a simple way of thinking about it, although hindi siya ganun ka-accurate, of course. So, they produce genetically identical offspring ng isang parent. So, methods would include runners, tubers, and cuttings. For example, strawberry for runners, potatoes for tubers, and some succulents naman for cuttings.